They took turns stabbing their samurai swords into the 8-year-old's body.
What? Y'all are not real humans, bro. Y'all are just monsters, bro. No. When children kill everyone in their family.
This video is about children who brutally killed their own families and will probably make you think twice about ever having kids. Let's go in raw. Jasmine Richardson. This first child killer was a 12-year-old girl who slaughtered her entire family so she could run away with her 23-year-old werewolf boyfriend.
You are not in Twilight, okay? Stop doing this.
Not even kidding about this. It's April 2006 and 12-year-old Jasmine is going through her little emo rebel phase.
That's a bit more than rebellious. That is murderous phase. I don't think any teenager goes through that.
That apparently every teenager went through back then, spending way too much time on the early internet. But outside of her internet emo persona, she lived a seemingly normal, happy life with a great family. They all lived in Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada. No, I'm not even kidding. This place is really called Medicine Hat. Mark and Deborah Richardson were the parents of Jasmine, as well as her 8-year-old little brother Tyler. Those who knew—
How do you murder your little brother though? Like, okay, maybe the parents, they were a bit too strict on you. The little bro?
The Richardsons described them as an average, peaceful family, including Jasmine, who, well, we'll get into why we already know that's not true. Like I said earlier, Jasmine was spending a little bit too much time on the internet.
Are y'all cool with y'all daughter having this type of decorations in her room? I'm taking most of these things off. The littlest demonic symbol I'm seeing, your whole room getting out.
Especially for a 12-year-old girl. She signed up for profiles on typical websites of the time like MySpace, but also on more unknown sites like VampireFreaks.com.
Huh?
VampireFreaks.com, people. Yeah, pretty weird, but like she was literally 12 years old. I probably would have just watched box set videos when I was 12, but hey, to each their own, I guess. Subscribe. On these sites, Jasmine was posting images of herself wearing goth clothing, heavy eye makeup, and she would even pose with fake guns. It was clear that she had quite an interest in the punk lifestyle, which unfortunately leads us to the first steps of the brutal murders of her parents and her little brother. But why? How does being goth lead to her entire family being goddamn murdered? Well, you little boxhead, let me tell you about a rather interesting emo guy that Jasmine was about to meet. With a few of her friends, Jasmine would regularly attend rock concerts. And at one of these shows, she meets a 23-year-old man.
Dude, you met an EDP 445? He convinced a 12-year-old to murder her own family?
His name was Jeremy Steinke. Jeremy was a high school dropout who lived in a trailer park with his mother. Was a very, very avid weed smoker and was also abused as a child. Yeah, all of this sounds like a recipe for goddamn disaster, people. But hold on, get this. He genuinely described him.
How does anybody look at this dude and they're like, yeah, this is what I want to be in the future. Look at his lineup. When Thanos snapped, he got some of his hair follicles to get out.
Himself as a 300-year-old werewolf.
Huh?
Yep. And he was dead goddamn serious too. No, I mean seriously, this guy even wore a vial of blood around his neck at all times, telling people that he enjoyed the taste of it. Damn, and I thought I was freaky. Anyways, Jasmine introduces herself to Jeremy as a 15-year-old, rather than her true age, 12 years old. Not like that's—
Oh my goodness, she's 15 and not 12. Like, what does that mean? Especially for someone that's old as you. 3 years is not gonna make it acceptable versus non-acceptable.
Any better, especially to a 23-year-old goddamn man.
Literally.
But as we know, the werewolf dude over here didn't really care, and seemed to like the fact that Jasmine was kind of young. Bro, this guy would have been a great goddamn Minecraft YouTuber. Nope.
Yo, why are you cooking them like that, bro? Yo, bro, I'm telling you, bro, these drawing channels are getting more crazy, bro.
Oh, hey, don't attack me. You know them Minecraft YouTubers be getting. They be crossing some lines. After the two meet in person, they begin chatting online nearly every day. They grew super close and even became involved romantically. As an older guy, Jeremy found it easy to pursue someone of Jasmine's young age.
Cause no one near his age finds what he's doing remotely cool or like interesting. You know every girl your age is like, bro, get a life, actually do something productive. That's why you're trying to get minors. You're weird.
You goddamn creep. On the other hand, Jasmine just wanted to feel a connection and was desperate to have her first love. I mean, come on, all of us were like that when we were young. I'm still waiting. Jeremy, being the old and wise goth that he was, heavily influenced and even pressured Jasmine into keeping up with her dark, gothy punk aesthetic. And of course, Jasmine complies. She begins to double down on her emo-ness, becoming even more involved in creepy sites online. And she even started wearing more
Wait, is that actually her or is that someone that looks like her? She does not look 12. This can't be her, right?
revealing punk clothing in her real life. As a result,
That's
her
her?
family and the people around her start to notice this sudden shift in Jasmine's personality. Mark and Deborah Richardson, Jasmine's parents, became suspicious with their daughter's behavior and decided to do some snooping, as any parent would. And in the weeks leading up to their murder in April 2006, they discovered that a 23-year-old man had been in contact with their young little daughter. Obviously, they would freak the hell out. I mean, who the hell wouldn't? They just found out that a weird, creepy-looking older werewolf guy was not just talking with, but very inappropriately involved with their little girl. So Jasmine's
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. If anything, bro, he's gonna be lucky if I don't beat him up.
parents immediately banned her from contacting Jeremy ever again. No calling, no texting, no rock shows, absolutely goddamn nothing. And Jasmine, being the typical teenager that she was, saw this as her parents separating her from her love life. I hate you, Mom. You're ruining my life.
They are protecting you from pedophilia. You should be happy that your parents actually care about you because I promise you that weirdo doesn't.
Don't worry, honey. It's just a phase. She'll grow out of it. Woo. They were goddamn wrong. Knowing how this story ends, it's pretty obvious that Jasmine and Jeremy's relationship didn't end there. Remember that little site vampirefreaks.com? Well, the two forbidden lovers actually found a way to communicate through it. Using fake-ass usernames, they carefully continued to chat through the website, leaving Jasmine's parents completely unaware. But Jasmine wasn't off the hook just yet. Her parents were keeping a very close eye on her outside life, always knowing where she was or who she was with. They even drove her to and from school, all with one goal in mind: no meeting Jeremy. The fact that the two wouldn't be able to see each other without her parents knowing infuriated the both of them. And this, ladies and box heads, is when the planning of the Richardson family murders began.
Here I was thinking that it was the girl that murdered them. Dude, you murdered a minor's whole family so you could be with a 15-year-old? What? I mean 12.
Through their little freaky vampire website, Jasmine messages her boyfriend saying, "So, I have this plan. It starts with killing them and ends with me living with you." Jeremy, who was probably delighted to hear this, accepted her crazy plan. Together, they conspired through online messages to murder the Richardson family in their own goddamn home. April 22nd, 2006. A heavily intoxicated and drugged up Jeremy makes his way to the Richardson family home in Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada. He's dressed in all black and a ski mask so no one
Blood
sees
is not opium.
I wonder what TV show he got that from. Our original buddy. Jasmine secretly lets Jeremy inside the house and then retreats back upstairs to her bedroom. I guess she didn't want to see the murder of her family that she literally planned out.
So when it was time to kill your little brother, you told him that it was good? Yo, she is a weirdo, bro. She better get her ass arrested as well, bro.
All alone now, Jeremy makes his way into the basement of the house. Not very quietly though, because he is super drunk. Alright, fine, box heads. I'll give it to him here. This guy was definitely more of a werewolf than a goddamn ninja. Anyways, Jasmine's mother, 48-year-old Deborah Richardson, was in this basement, doing a load of laundry like it was any, typical kind of day. Jeremy sees her and remembers the plan that he and his girlfriend constructed. Every Richardson must die tonight.
Damn.
Suddenly, Jeremy emerges from the shadows of the dark basement holding a 6-inch folding knife. Deborah screams at the top of her lungs as this masked man lunges at her and attacks her.
I wonder if she was ever like, damn, why did I get my parents lined up for a dude that probably doesn't even like me like that?
Fortunately, she would succumb to her wounds after being stabbed 12 times in the chest by Jeremy. You heard me right, people. 12 goddamn times. Because of Jeremy's loud attack and Deborah's piercing screams, the rest of the family had been woken up. Jasmine's father, 42-year-old Mark Richardson, immediately grabs a screwdriver and...
Gang. What type of skill-based matchmaking is that, bro? Bringing a rock to a gunfight, like, who here's screaming and you obviously know something's going wrong. You gonna bring a screwdriver?
Makes his way down to the basement in a hurry, worried that his wife might be in trouble. Little did he know what was coming. Mark rushes down to the basement and finds blood everywhere. On the walls, on the floor, and as soon as he looked over, he saw a random man in a ski mask, standing over his dead wife with a bloody knife in his hands. Scared, Mark turns around and starts sprinting up the stairs. But he wasn't fast enough. He feels the hands of Jeremy grabbing him back down, followed by the pain of a knife plunging into his back. Jeremy stabs Mark 9 times in the back. But Mark doesn't let up easily. He fights to save not only his life, but the lives of his children as well. With all of the remaining strength that he had, an adrenaline-fueled, terrified Mark tries his hardest to injure his attacker in any way possible. He desperately hits Jeremy and even tries to gouge his eyes out, but none of it works.
Boxhead, why would you edge me like that? You had me thinking that he was gonna come out victorious and then, yeah.
This intoxicated, drugged up werewolf man doesn't seem to feel any pain. Eventually, Jeremy grabs his knife and stabs Mark again, this time in his chest and abdomen area. Before Mark takes his last breath, he is able to weakly mutter one word to Jeremy.
What?
Why? Not even knowing that this masked...
I really think about the crux of it. It's crazy. Y'all niggas killed the whole family because you wanted a little girl. I'd be damned if the reason why I leave this earth is because my daughter want to be with a 28-year-old. What that got to do with me? I'm just trying to live on this earth. I'm trying to be happy. But because your down badass want to be with an adult and I'm trying to protect you, I got to deal with the consequences?
Killer was his daughter's secret boyfriend. Jeremy then replied, because your daughter wanted it this way. Mark's eyes then shut forever, dying in the pool of his own blood. Jasmine's father suffered 13 stab wounds to the front of his body and 9 wounds to his back at
Alright, leave the little kid alone, please.
The hands of Jeremy. So now we got 2 dead Richardsons in the basement. But as we know, the Richardsons were a family of 4. And if Jasmine planned it, then that leaves 1 Richardson left. 8-year-old Tyler.
Leave him
alone. While Jeremy was in the basement dealing with Jasmine's parents, part of their twisted plan was for Jasmine to distract her little brother. In Tyler's upstairs bedroom, the siblings are waiting for Jeremy to handle his business in the basement. But of course, little Tyler did not know what was going on. While carrying the dripping, bloody knife used to kill Mark and Deborah, Jeremy made his way up the stairs to meet his 12-year-old girlfriend and eliminate their last target. When Jeremy enters the bedroom, he hands Jasmine the same knife that he used to murder her parents. He then forcefully grabs and pins down the 8-year-old. While he's held down on this bed by this grown man, Tyler cries and pleads for his life to his sister. I mean, seriously, what kind of person could listen to the cries of an innocent child, much less their own brother, and still want to murder them? Gosh. Tyler can't move, his whole body is restrained, and he is terrified. Imagine a grown, masked man holding you down while your own big sister does nothing to protect you. This poor little kid probably had no idea that his sister was behind all of this. Well, until she held the knife over him. Yeah, this girl is absolutely disgusting. So with zero care for Tyler's pleading, Jasmine then drives the 6-inch knife into little Tyler's chest. But he actually survives this blow to the chest. The boy was making gargling sounds and was still able to move around.
Drop the address to where that girl living. We're gonna load the shotguns, we right at 12, alright?
If Jasmine had any remorse in her heart, she could have changed her mind right there and then. She could have called it all off and saved her little brother's life.
Literally.
But no, this evil little girl had her mind made up. Her whole family had to die that night. Jasmine then hands the knife back to her boyfriend. Jeremy takes the blade and slashes the little boy's throat wide open.
What? Y'all better give this man the death penalty. What?
Killing him instantly. The blood from the slash sprayed all over the kid's toys in his room. Talk about goddamn disgusting. Some reports even say that in an attempt to defend himself from his sister and her boyfriend, the 8-year-old actually grabbed a toy lightsaber. How could someone even do this? The kid tried to defend himself with a lightsaber. Like, This is just a terrible story. In the end, Tyler Jacob Richardson was stabbed 5 times, with a severe laceration to his throat. With this death, that left the entire Richardson family members dead. Besides one, of course. I mean, it was exactly what Jeremy and Jasmine wanted. A life free of annoying parents who in reality just wanted to protect their daughter and make sure she was safe.
Do y'all think that little girl felt like guilty though? I genuinely feel like she did though. I don't know. Granted, I don't care what she thinks at the end, but there's no way you as a kid are comfortable with your family forever gone.
After the murders were finished, the two lovers fled the area without any remorse, leaving a house full of dead bodies behind. They hitched a ride from a friend and just tried to get as far away from the house as possible. It wasn't until the next day when the 8-year-old child of a neighbor saw Deborah's dead body through a window. That's when the police were called. The police initially suspected a home invasion and the entire family had been killed on the night of April 22nd. But as the cops walked around the house, they came across family photos and started noticing a face in the photos who, well, wasn't dead in the house. The police quickly realized that there was a fourth missing member of the Richardson family. An Amber Alert was sent out for Jasmine Richardson, and her name was everywhere. On the news, of course. People were actually concerned for her safety, thinking that she might have been abducted by home invaders. No one would have imagined the real goddamn story. Once the police had found Jasmine's computer, they were able to read through her messages and found a graphic drawing of her family dying. And ladies and box heads, that's when they began to put together the real story.
She took pictures of it?
As the police read further and further into the messages, they discovered that Jasmine was actually the mastermind behind these awful, disgusting, brutal murders. They found where she first brought up the idea to her boyfriend and how he so eagerly complied.
Jeremy Stike, who is that? Dude, ew, bro. Even the sketches know that he's ugly, bro.
They now knew that she wasn't a victim. So, the police set out to find and arrest the two lovers. And because of the Amber Alert, Jasmine and Jeremy were spotted about 80 miles away, in Leader, Saskatchewan, Canada. They were seen casually hanging out with friends, cuddling, kissing, bragging, and acting like nothing bad had happened while eating in a restaurant. So, the police were called and the two were arrested. In court, Jasmine Richardson was convicted of 3 counts of murder. However, because she was only 12 years old at the time of the crime, the maximum punishment she could have served in prison was only 10 years. So, box heads, she was actually released in 2016 and she has been a free woman ever since. And fun fact, but not really fun, Jasmine Richardson is the youngest person to ever be convicted of a triple murder in Canada. As for Jeremy Steinke, well, they didn't...
I'm not gonna lie, I would assume by now she would be super depressed to the point like she don't want to live no more, but hey, apparently not.
Go as easy on a grown-ass man. Excuse me. Where?
Yeah, you're a predator and you're a murderer. No, like shit. And the reason why you're a murderer is because you wanted to be a predator so bad. Do you all know how crazy that is?
Wolf. He was found guilty for 3 counts of murder and sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences in prison. I guess you can say Jeremy would never see a full moon again, huh? Bad joke. Erin Caffey. This next child killer orchestrated the vicious murder of her whole family using guns and samurai swords.
What?
Yeah. March 1st, 2008. 4 members of the Caffey family are sound asleep in their beds when 2 men break into their home. These men would then carry out brutal attacks on the family, resulting in the murders of the mother and her 2 young sons. A gruesome murder plan that was later discovered to be ordered by the Caffey family's own 16-year-old daughter, Erin. But before we get into more graphic detail,
yo, what's up with daughters? Both of the instances were daughters, bro. Yo, what's up?
Let me give you some background information, as we typically do. It's the fall of 2007 in the small town of Alba, Texas. Not to be cliche, but it's one of those quiet towns where everyone knows each other and nothing crazy ever really happens. Alba was full of tradition, God-fearing religious families who never missed church on a Sunday, including the Caffeys, a typical Southern family of 5. 41-year-old Terry Caffey and 38-year-old Penny Caffey were the parents of 3 children. 13-year-old Matthew, 8-year-old Tyler, and their eldest child, 16-year-old Erin Caffey. Erin was a great student. Regularly went to church and had the voice of an angel, they say, as she would usually sing in the church choir. She seems to be a good kid on a path to success. So now...
I don't know about that. Path to jail makes much more sense.
Now you're probably wondering, if everything was all sunshine and rainbows for Erin Caffey, what exactly went wrong in her life and gave her these murderous thoughts? How in goddamn hell did she end up killing her goddamn family? Well, it all starts out when Erin meets her soon-to-be murder accomplice, Charlie Wilkinson. Just about 5 months.
I don't understand. From these stories, all the murders were love interests. I would never kill my girl's parents. I'm sorry, gang. That's not love to me, bro.
Months before the murders, Erin meets 18-year-old Charlie while she's working a shift at her part-time fast food job. He was a couple years older than her and apparently Erin's type. So the two developed a romantic relationship that moved pretty goddamn quickly. Erin and Charlie spent all of their time together, becoming basically inseparable. And only after a couple of months of dating, Charlie actually proposed to Erin with a promise ring.
To a 16-year-old? Put him on some sort of watch list. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't think you should be marrying 16-year-olds.
Thankfully, they didn't actually get married, but it goes to show how head over heels they were for each other. Meaning they would do anything. And I mean seriously anything for one another. Now, this is where things—
You draw the line at marriage, but when it comes to murdering your family, you're all for it. How does that make sense, huh?
Things start to take a dark turn. Erin's parents were not very fond of their daughter's boyfriend. He was antisocial, rude, and was the cause of Erin's rebellious phase over the past few months. Their once sweet and ambitious daughter had become closed off to them, and even began slipping up in school. Erin's parents decided that school was far more important to Erin's life than her boyfriend. Reasonably so. So, they demanded that Charlie and Erin break up. But oh boy, they did not realize just how in love this couple really was.
Am I the only one that doesn't tell my family about anyone that I'm talking to? Like, I don't even tell my family if I find a girl, like, I just keep it to myself. Granted, if you are young and you're actually like linking with someone, yes, you should tell your parents because safety reasons.
Charlie was infuriated with the idea of having to break up with his girlfriend and suggested that Erin actually run away with him. However, Erin had a much more sinister idea in her mind. Erin wholeheartedly believed that the only way for her and Charlie to stay together was if they somehow murdered the entire Caffey family. That's right, the entire family, including her innocent younger brothers. So, Erin tries convincing Charlie of what they have to do in order to be together, and well, it actually works because Charlie agrees to help kill the whole family.
What?
But they knew they wouldn't be able to—
So that's your solution? Yo, now let's just wait till we grow up and they have no choice but to let us go? No, let's murder them. How does that make sense?
Get the job done by themselves. I mean, there were 4 members of the family to kill, and Erin didn't want to do any of the killing by herself, which would leave Charlie to kill 4 people on his own. So Erin and Charlie did what any normal psychopathic teenagers would do and convinced even more people to help them with their plan of killing the entire family.
Are there like just a lot of people that are willing to just kill people? If anybody in my friend group ever say, bro, we're about to murder someone, like, I'm gonna look at them weird as hell. How do you have accomplices to doing this?
They recruited one of Charlie's friends, 20-year-old Charles Wade, to help them with the actual killing part of the plan. Then they had Charles's girlfriend, 18-year-old Bobby Johnson—
Let's be real. The only way they needed to convince her was a $20 Chipotle card.
and act as the getaway driver. Yeah, let's just fast forward to March 1st, 2008, at around 3 a.m. Erin's parents, Terry and Penny, were sound asleep in their bed. That is until their bedroom door slams open, disrupting them from their sleep. Before Erin's parents even knew what was going on or who even opened the door, 2 men forcefully rushed into the room. Confused and terrified, the Caffey parents screamed in fear for their lives, unaware of the horrors that were about to unfold. Without any hesitations, the intruders started firing .22 caliber rifle bullets at the defenseless Caffey parents.
Dude, they are in close range. Why are you using them big ass guns, bro? You was shooting deer.
1 second, the parents were peacefully sleeping, and the next, they
Technically, they were sleeping, but permanently this time. R.I.P.
were in a pool of their own blood, fighting for their lives. Terry, Erin's father, is shot multiple times in the chest as he throws his body over his wife to try and protect her. The attackers then—
Oh man, that is a real dude right there, bro. Using yourself as a shield. Oh my goodness, bro.
and shoot Terry in
R.I.P.
the face, causing him to fall off the bed and onto the floor. Unfortunately, Terry wouldn't be able to protect his wife as he lays in the pool of his own blood on the floor.
Damn.
He tries mustering all the strength in his body to get up, to speak, to do anything, but he can't. Terry had been shot a total of 11 times and was
11? Y'all got rifles? I don't think you needed that much to do the trick.
severely injured. Meanwhile, his wife Penny just laid on the blood-soaked bed as the killers
R.I.P.
continued to load her body up with bullets. But as scared as she was, she didn't give up easily either. In fact, the attackers got super frustrated when Penny just wouldn't die from the bullets. And remember when I mentioned a goddamn samurai sword at the beginning of this section? Well, this is when that sword is used. One of the attackers takes the sword and aligns it with the middle of poor Penny's throat. Already covered in gunshot wounds, Penny has no strength left to defend herself. Knowing what he must do next, the man slowly lowers the sharp blade closer and closer to his victim. He then plunges the blade right into her neck and slashes it out of the side. Blood sprays everywhere. This brutal action nearly decapitates the poor woman. Unfortunately, Penny Caffey had no chance of survival from this brutal attack. She died right there in that bloody bed at the hands of Charlie and Charles. But Erin Caffey, her own daughter, was really the one with blood on her hands. Despite being shot 11 times, the father, Terry Caffey, was actually still alive on the floor and heard the whole thing. I mean, can you even imagine having to witness the—
Your wife? Hopefully he survived, but at what cost, bruh?
truly evil murder of your wife and hardly clinging on to the life of yourself. And to make things worse, the attackers were now headed upstairs toward the Caffey children's bedrooms, ready to do the same thing to Terry's children. While falling in and out of consciousness, Terry could hear the loud footsteps of the two men going up the stairs. He desperately wanted to save his kids' lives, but he was way too injured to move fast enough and was slipping in his own blood.
I ain't gonna lie, sometimes niggas just gotta be grateful that they lived the life they lived.
Upstairs, the men quickly burst into
dad.
13-year-old
Nah,
Matthew
for real.
Caffey's bedroom. Immediately, Matthew recognizes one of the assailants as Charlie, his older sister's boyfriend. And after hearing the traumatic screams of his mother and father just a few moments before, Matthew knew exactly what was coming. Completely terrified.
What did this child have to do with y'all marrying each other? Look, it's one thing ending the parents. R.I.P. them. How is the child in any way gonna stop y'all from doing what y'all gotta do?
Matthew begged and pleaded with Charlie to spare his life. He cried as he begged him, "No, Charlie, please don't do this," and asked him, "Why are you doing this?" The men, unfazed by the child's begging, shot him right in the face and his neck. Silence. After killing Matthew, they rushed over to the next room to kill the youngest kid in the family, 8-year-old Tyler Caffey. God, these people are just disgusting. Tyler had been hiding in the closet of his older sister's room. This poor, innocent kid had heard all of the attacks that came before him, so he hid, praying that he wouldn't be found. Tyler sat in that dark closet alone, terrified, knowing that no one in his family would be there to protect him. Could you just imagine the fear that this kid probably felt? Sadly, Charlie and Charles eventually found Tyler in that closet. They grabbed the boy out of the closet, pushed him onto the ground, and oh god, this is hard to say. They took turns stabbing their samurai swords into the 8-year-old's body.
What? Y'all are not real humans, bruh. Y'all are just monsters, bruh. No, bruh.
Satisfied with their sick killings, Charlie and Charles then went around the house collecting any valuables or cash they could find. Erin and Charlie actually planned to pay their accomplice Charles with the $2,000 that was stashed somewhere in the Caffey home. Once the job was done.
$2,000?
Then the killers doused the home with lighter fluid and set the whole damn place on fire. Yeah, surely that wouldn't draw any attention to the horrific crimes that they just committed there. Anyways, remember how I told you that Terry Caffey, Erin's father, had actually survived? Yeah, well, he wasn't free to go just yet. This poor guy had to fight his way out of a burning building after being shot 11 times, right after his youngest son Tyler was just killed. Terry realized that his whole family was probably dead. He even assumed that his daughter Erin had been killed too. We'll get into that in a second.
Can y'all imagine how heated the dad was? Do you know how traumatized he's gonna be now that he knows everybody in his family passed away?
But Terry couldn't just handle this idea of his family being gone. He stops fighting and just, well, gives up. He collapses into his own pool of blood on the bedroom floor and falls unconscious. However, thanks to that fire Charlie and Charles had set in the house, Terry wakes up. His body feels hot and he's no longer just choking on blood. but on smoke too. He realizes that the house is on fire, and if he doesn't get out now, he will die this time. With all of the strength he could possibly muster, Terry drags his body through the bedroom and pulls himself out of a window. Thankfully, Terry and Penny's bedroom was only on the first floor. As the house is literally burning down behind him, Terry crawls almost a quarter of a mile to his neighbor's house. With 11 gunshot wounds and thinking his whole family was dead, he was fighting to get to safety for one reason. That was more than just his own survival. For the simple fact that he knew the identity of one of the killers. Remember when Terry's older
Though you dead, man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad somebody actually snitches, bro. They cannot escape, bro.
son Matthew was killed? Remember how he was specifically begging Charlie not to kill him? Well, Terry actually heard all of that and just knew. Right then and there, he knew that his daughter's boyfriend was the goddamn killer. And Terry would do anything to make sure he was identified. When he arrives at his neighbor's house, Terry tells his neighbor, Tommy Gaston, that Charlie did it. Tommy frantically calls the police. Listen to this.
Alright, sir, I have a few questions that I need to ask you, okay? We're gonna get you an ambulance. I need you to stay on the line with me, okay? Are you with the patient now?
Yes.
How old is he?
He's 41.
Is he conscious?
Yes.
And is he breathing?
Yes.
Okay. When did this happen?
I don't know, just a little bit ago, and we've also got a house on fire out here.
And the house is on fire? Is the person who shot him still nearby, sir?
Yes, he's right here at me.
You shot him?
No, I
You think he would be calling the cops if he was the one that did it? Come on, bro.
didn't. I don't know any more details. I've got to hang up and help him.
Sir, I have to ask you these questions. Okay, they're en route. Is there any serious bleeding?
Yes, he's bleeding.
Okay, is he completely awake?
Yes, he's awake.
Okay, what part of the body was
I
injured?
don't know, but I've got to go.
Sir, I need to know where he was shot.
Well, why? You said the paramedics was already gonna help him, right? Can you ask him other questions? Just send the hospital, no. What's up?
Do what?
I need to know where he was shot
I
at.
don't know.
So while all of this is happening in the Caffey family
Like, is she expecting him to strip him off of his clothes and see exactly where he got shot? Asking too much questions, bro.
home, where the hell is the mastermind herself, Erin Caffey? Well, she was just waiting in the car with her getaway driver, Bobby Johnson. Erin, in an impatient tone while just waiting in the car, can they hurry up? How long are they gonna take in
Did they
there?
escape?
Once Charlie and Charles had finished up the murdering part of the plan and drove away in the car, Erin literally shouted, "Holy shit, that was awesome."
Nah, these people are sick.
And no, I'm not making that line up. She had actually said that about her family being murdered. To all my little box heads listening to this, guys, don't ever grow up to be this girl. Anyways, they all fled to Charles's trailer to get a good night's sleep. After, a casual extermination of an entire family because of Terry's 911 call not long before. The police were searching for Charlie Wilkinson. It wasn't long after the murders that they found him holed up in Charles's trailer. They arrested Charles thinking that would, be the end of it. What they didn't expect was
I'm
to
glad,
find
I'm
a
glad.
16-year-old
I'm glad.
blonde girl also in the trailer. Yep. That girl was in fact Erin Caffey.
Get her
You would
ass
think
gone.
that Erin knew that there was no escaping at this point, right? Well. The plot thickens again. Her boyfriend had been arrested, the police were going to interrogate him, and their master plan would be investigated. But nope, for some reason Erin had the high hopes that she could actually get away with the murders. So, when the police found her, Erin tried to play it off like she was kidnapped,
No! First you go from, oh, that was fun. Say, I got kidnapped? No, bro, I'm telling her, give her death.
unsure of where she was. She claimed that she'd been drugged and had no idea that her family was just killed. And honestly, it kind of worked. The police felt sympathy for her, thinking that she was genuinely a lost, kidnapped little girl who had just lost her entire family and that she was just freaking out.
That's
but hey,
crazy.
you all know after watching this section of the video, that's definitely not goddamn true. After running multiple tests on Erin, they discovered that she was lying about being drugged. And in fact, knew a lot about the murders. That sympathy?
Crazy.
Yeah, that was all gone now. The police had stopped viewing Erin as a poor little victim and instead embraced the idea that she could be a suspect. Then she blamed Charlie for the initial idea of the plan while Charlie and the rest of the crew put all the blame on Erin. I mean, it was her idea. Till this very day, Erin Caffey denies ever being the mastermind behind this crime. The four involved in the Caffey's family murders all pleaded guilty in court. Bobby Johnson, the getaway driver, got 40 years in prison. Charles Wade and Charlie Wilkinson both were sentenced to life without parole. And the puppet master herself, Erin Caffey, was sentenced to life in prison with the chance of parole after 25 years. Now, Wilkinson and Wade were actually going to face the death penalty for their crimes. Let me actually know in the comments what you think about the death penalty. Are you guys for it, against it? I just want to know. It wasn't until none other than the surviving victim, Terry Caffey himself, testified for the killers of his family to not receive the death penalty as a punishment. Terry was a man of God and strongly believed in forgiveness.
Wait, did Dad forgave him? You end my family, your ass getting ended too. You lucky I don't go on James Bond mode and get your family too.
Yes, this man had his whole family killed and had it in his heart to forgive them. Man,
good man, bro.
I can't say I would be the same.
Anyways, YouTube, those are when children killed everyone in their family. More of the story. If you're ever mad at your family, don't end them. I thought that was inherently obvious. Talk things through, all right? Just, I don't know, love your family, all right? Be happy, all that good stuff. Make sure you guys subscribe. Join us on Discord, catch us on Twitch, all that good stuff, man. Waxer for life. Love y'all, and peace.